But what she did do, and it's brilliant without, thinking about it, is your website, your social media, all of your content development isn't me, my. It's really answering the questions that people have on the top of their mind about what concerns them. Your focus really should be more about understanding where you fit in their world versus trying to cram who you are and what you do down their throats. And I say that in a very aggressive manner because 90% of the websites that you go to start off with, we rock, we're #1, we're the coolest, blah, blah, blah. And it's a yawner, and you'll also lose your audience. So with regard to building an effective website, and this goes to your total marketing and communication strategies, what are the questions that people have top of mind that you can answer that are relevant to either your products or services? Not necessarily specific. Perfect example is we did a website for a law firm in a very competitive environment, personal injury. There's a gazillion lawyers out there doing that. And what did we do on the website? We answered right up front the 2 most commonly asked questions. We stated the question and then we answered it. And their page rank went up from a 2 to a 4 in a matter of 30 days. The idea is to communicate from the visitor's point of view. I mean, we can get into tagging and meta tagging and keywords and structure, and I love talking about all of that. But the real meat of the matter is you need to find where you fit in your key target audience's world and life. How can you improve it, and how can you speak to them specifically with their terms and answer their questions? So as you begin to organize your website, it isn't really organized around your products or your service as much as it is your solutions or answering the point of pain.
And that really ties really well into know who your target market is and know what they need from you. And I will repeat something I said this morning, which is whatever online marketing mediums and medias you use should be where your target market is converging and your community is converging. Just because there's something really hot out there doesn't mean you should be using it, and doesn't mean that's where your customer or your community is engaging. So for example, for me, I think Pinterest is awesome. I don't need to use Pinterest. I'm not drawn to Pinterest. I use different things to engage my audience and my community. So make sure when you're thinking about creating your online marketing strategy that it's based on where your customer is and your community is. That's really important. And I love, content drives traffic, and that is the crux, and that is the keynote of what online marketing is about. Go ahead.
Here's the problem that most of us face. Remember that expression, if you build it, they will come? What movie was that?
Field of Dreams.
It was Kevin Costner's last movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so just because you build it doesn't mean people come. A lot of people put up websites, a lot of people put business out there, but there's so much noise that no one's going to find you. So you've got to be found, and then you've got to get chosen. And the only way you do that, as you were talking about, is to have content, to try to create relations with people, but also make sure, one of the things that I find, Marty, is that a lot of people don't use sharing widgets on their websites, right? That you can have a widget called Share This is one of them, where to make sure that that page on your website can be sent to, can be email, can be Facebook, Twitter, Google+, whatever you really want to do it, so when people do find it, it really can be shared. And I find that a lot of people never look at their Google Analytics and see where people are coming from, what pages they're going to, and what the sources are. When you find out what the sources are, go back to what that source was, so maybe you can drive more traffic from that part. We just don't take the time. We think we're just going to put up that website, and now, hey, we're done. And a lot of people don't do mobile either, although I think mobile's just a fad.
Oh, God, no.
You got texting, too.
plastics.
So I just want to make one point from my perspective, and we talk about driving people to your website, and I want to make sure that you understand that it's super important once you get people to your website that it looks like $1 million. And so I want to say that your personal branding, your visuals, your logo, your colors, your formats, your messaging is up to date, fresh, relevant, clean, easy to navigate, and that you're saying what you want people to know about you. Is your big picture working with your branding? Because you're going to get one chance to make a first impression, period. And if you come up to somebody for the first time and they go, boom, wow, this person is serious, a professional, and knows what they're talking about, they're going to go deeper into your site and they're going to want to know more about you. So I think the personal branding between the visual and what I call the visceral, your messaging. What are you saying to them that's touching them, that's connecting with them, that's engaging with them? So the visual and the visceral have to be working together. So I want to move on here because we're going to give you some time to ask us some questions about where you're at in your process and some of the things that you're succeeding with and some of the things that you're struggling with. So I want everybody to kind of just give like a tip, one or two major tips with regard to their expertise that you can sort of take home with you and implement like tonight, okay? Let's start with Stephanie.
Well, you've heard all about my suggestion to blog. I think the goal for all of us should be to be seen and heard in as many places as possible where our target audience is spending our time. So for you, you need to figure out who they are, where they are. Are they in LinkedIn groups? Are they downloading podcasts? Are they signing up for webinars? Are they participating in industry forums or industry news sites? Can you write for those sites? So I would say go out and figure out where they're spending their time and how you're going to reach them in the most efficient way possible. And I love what Barry said earlier about, you get busy and you forget about your marketing. And these are some of the things that we need to start doing on a consistent basis. I get grumpy when I don't get enough time in my week to do my blog. I enjoy it. I think it's great that I get to do something creative to market my business. So block out that time to consistently make sure you're reaching out, you're participating in a forum, you're interviewing interesting people for your podcast, or even interviewing for your blog. And I will also add one more tip with your blog. I know a lot of people cringe when I say you should be blogging at least 2 to 3 times a week. More is better. You don't have to produce all of your own content. You can go out and get guest contributors to your blog. Invite your clients and your peers to contribute. Something we added in recent years were interview forms. So we have a form on the website where people can fill out an actual interview and submit it for consideration, and it gets posted to the site. The content manager notifies them when it goes live and says, thanks for your contribution. Will you please, let your networks know it's here? So then the person you've interviewed goes out and announces it on their Twitter and Facebook and in their blogs and newsletters. So you can really find a lot of creative ways to bring more content into your site without having to create all of it.
Great. Barry?
We're not taking questions yet because she was raising her hand.
We're going to get through this section and then we're going to open it up.
So my tip is to stop sending email newsletters because no one is reading them. Now, it doesn't mean you should stop being in touch with people by email, but what I suggest is a single subject email. And I think that's a lot more effective. I tested both sides of it. When you send a single subject email, people have a